Good evening. Making the headlines on Mello TV Evening News at 8, Jamaican dancehall icon Adidja Palmer's request to provide fresh evidence in support of his murder appeal denied by the United Kingdom-based Privy Council. NWC implements water restrictions and bail extended until April 27 for the Moulton sisters and other accused in connection with the most recent agicor fraud case. Now here are the details. Jamaican dancehall icon Adidja Palmer, aka Vybz Kartel's request to provide fresh evidence in support of his murder appeal was denied by the United Kingdom-based Privy Council. Palmer, who was convicted on murder charges, had argued that new information from an expert witness about mobile phone evidence should be admitted by the court. In Jamaica, the phone was inspected in front of the prosecution. The court denied the application after reviewing the submission. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, stated the hearing on the substantive appeal is still alive and relevant. For the murder of Clive Lizard Williams in 2011, Palmer and fellow performer Sean Storm, whose real name is Sean Campbell, along with Kahira Jones and Andre St. John, were found guilty in 2014. Williams's remains were never recovered. Palmer was sentenced to 35 years in prison before being eligible for parole, while Sean Storm's parole was set at 25 years. As drought conditions continue to influence inflows to certain surface water sources, the National Water Commission (NWC) announced that it would start restricting water supply to certain areas of Kingston and St. Andrew, KSA, as of yesterday. According to the NWC, the Hermitage Dam's water level is currently 63.5%, while the Mona Reservoir is at 76%. It claims that due to the ongoing decrease in storage at its key facilities, it has carefully analyzed its options and has come to the decision that it must take the required steps to protect the region's water supply in Kingston and St. Andrew. Trucking arrangements, according to the NWC, would be put in place to cater to clients who cannot be reached by the piped network. Customers are being urged to do their part to lessen the effects of the drought by practicing conservation measures. Still making the news tonight, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie visited Chambers Pen, Hanover today to undertake activities under the Rural Development Program, RDP. A water supply system was given to the community. Business grants were handed over to entrepreneurs and a contract was signed for the multi-million-dollar rehabilitation of the roadway. An indigent housing solution valued at 4.5 million Jamaican dollars was also handed over to an 80-year-old resident in the community. Now, Chambers Pen is the pilot project for the RDP, which aims to improve rural spaces. Minister McKenzie was elated to see the extensive work that was carried out and estimates that the overall value for the completion of works is $35 million.
What I came here and saw over a year ago is a testament to our commitment for rural development. This is literally a brand new school. And I've spoken to the students and they're alive because they have a proper place of learning. The teachers are excited and we have gotten support from other schools within the area. We are not here to tell people any Nancy story. We made commitments and we are fulfilling those commitments in the school. We are committed to work with the principal, with the member of parliament, with the councillors and the community to ensure that there's a foundation for education. Because if you look at the level of crime taking place in Jamaica today, it is no longer the men in the 40s and the 50s, even although they are guiding them, but It is the youngsters who should be in school, and we have to start to build that foundation, because education is going to be the vehicle out, not just out of poverty, but it is going to be the vehicle that is going to take us out of crime and violence.
In a Mello TV Evening News at 8 update on the reported fraud at Sagicor Group, bail was extended until April 27 for the 4 women accused in connection with the most recent Sagicor fraud case, including the Moulton sisters. The women made their initial court appearance in St. Andrew Parish Court, where Justice Laurie Ann Cole Montague ordered that they provide their travel documents and be fingerprinted. They are Tricia Moulton, manager at Sagicor's Ligony branch; her sister Alicia Moulton White, former Sagicor Group president; personal banker Malika McLeod; and 26-year-old client care officer Tishan Samuels, who was the last to be hit with charges this month. Samuels was charged with larceny as a servant, conspiracy to defraud, and access with intent to commit or facilitate the commission of an offense under the cybercrime law. She was offered station bail in the sum of $1 million. Following an investigation by the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, $65 million was allegedly removed from 6 Sagicor United States U.S. accounts. And in light of recent allegations of corruption leveled against Prime Minister Andrew Holness recently, the Advocates Network has accepted that the Integrity Commission handled the investigation of the Prime Minister on corruption charges as required by law, even though the report had negative local and international effects. The Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled that no charges would be preferred against the Prime Minister. However, for members of the public, including politicians, to say that the Prime Minister was exonerated does not accurately reflect what took place. The Advocates Network believes that the investigative report tabled in Parliament outlined actions accurately representing conflict of interest by the Prime Minister. However, as indicated by the Director of Prosecution, no legal action was to be taken. The Advocates Network in their release stated that this should serve as a valuable lesson to all politicians in future, that they should not be intervening in the choices of service providers to be awarded contracts in any way. The Advocates Network further highlighted that if we are serious about curtailing corruption in Jamaica, the MPs are not to be in the business of recommending contractors. Continuing with the news tonight, the St. Andrews Central Police Division seized a large quantity of assorted rounds of ammunition in Backroad, Highlight View, Pepin in the parish yesterday. Reports coming in to our news center are that at about 11:30 a.m., a team conducted a targeted raid and the mentioned premises was searched. During the search, 99.222 Remington rifle cartridges and one 5.56 magazine and one Smith & Wesson 9mm magazine were found in a bag in an old refrigerator. No one was taken into custody. Investigations are ongoing. Still in the news this evening, investigators assigned to the Lottery Scam Task Force in Montego Bay, St. James, arrested and charged 3 persons, including a woman, with possession of identity information and possession of an access device, following an operation on Wharf Road, Orange Bay, Hanover, in 2 separate incidents earlier today. In the first incident at about 4:30 a.m., law enforcement officers were in the area when a 2-bedroom dwelling occupied by a male and a female was searched. Now, during the search, 2 cellular phones belonging to the man was populated with names, addresses, telephone numbers, and bank information of persons residing overseas. 27-year-old Dino Vassiana of Church Lane and 19-year-old Amoya Smith, a hairdresser, both from Orange Bay, Hanover, were charged in relation to this incident. In the second incident that occurred at about 9 a.m., 27-year-old Colwyn White, an auto repairman of Wharf Road, Orange Bay, Hanover, was arrested and charged following an operation that was carried out at his home. Now, during that search, 2 cellular phones, several photographs of lead sheet lists were seen in White's possession. Further searches also revealed Excel files populated with names, addresses, telephone numbers, and bank information of persons residing overseas. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thanks for watching.